Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if this is your first visit here. My name is Stephanie and I'll be doing an oracle card and a crystal card reading and some Akashic Records guide words for the week of August 29th through September 4th, 2021. I would like to mention, if you are not a usual viewer, if you happen to stumble across this guidance outside that time frame and it feels relevant to you, whenever you come across it, it is relevant for you. So it is timeless in that respect. But we are just sort of focusing on the energy of the week of August 29th through September 4th. So into September we go. As I've been doing for the past couple weeks, I have tuned into the energy of the Akashic Records while I've been working in them throughout the week, just to get kind of an energetic forecast of what to focus on, maybe what energy is getting ready to come in for this week, in the form of 3 keywords. So the keywords that I got channeled from the Akashic Records this week are balance, connection, and physicality, which I thought was interesting. Physicality. So something to do with maybe connecting with our physical bodies. Could also be that sort of creative energy, that really being grounded in our physical reality and creating things. So those are the keywords for this week. We'll see what comes up from the cards to kind of support that. Balance, connection, physicality. So, I do feel like for a lot of us, it may have to do with our physical bodies. So maybe changes in eating, changes in movement, changes in sleep, anything that can support our physical bodies. But keep in mind, if that doesn't resonate for you during this week, it may be grounding something in your physical reality, like a project. So let's talk about the cards I'm going to use a little bit this week first. So these are ones I don't normally use. I don't think I've used them on YouTube for a collective reading, and I don't normally use them in private readings either. These are just to kind of, I've been changing my workspace around and going through some of my old card decks, and grabbed a couple that I don't normally use that I was called to use this week. So the first one that we'll use, that we'll get our crystal guidance from, is crystal deck number 5. I do use these every week. They're from healingcrystals.com. The one we're going to use for our Sunday energy, because Sunday to me always feels a little different. It's more of a kind of supportive day, like a self-care day, a way to set ourselves up in the best possible energy and the best possible way for the coming week. So Sunday I'm going to do a card from a different deck, and this is the Mediumship training deck. And this is from Lauren Rainbow and John Holland. I love both of their work. I do a lot of Lauren's meditations and heart breathing, heart opening exercises. She just has a beautiful energy. So if you have not ever looked at her work, you might want to check it out. So this is a deck I've used personally as a way to cultivate increased intuition and connect with my own abilities. But I'm going to draw one for the collective this week. So we'll start our Sunday energy with a card from the Mediumship training deck. And then this old deck that I found in a box when I was cleaning out some cards is, I don't know if any of you remember Sylvia Browne. She was maybe my first introduction to a medium or a psychic on TV. And in the 90s, she was on Montel Williams as a frequent guest. And I was mesmerized by Sylvia Browne. So she was very flamboyant, kind of bigger than life personality, kind of snarky, just like she just had it by that point in her life. She, became the author of a number of books, and gave private readings. But this is a heart and soul deck that she created for Hay House, I believe. And it's just one I've never used it. So I'm just stumbled across it. I'm going to use it for the remainder of the week. But if any of you are old enough to remember Sylvia Browne like I am, she just kind of, thinking of her makes me smile. She was, had these really long fingernails she would just tap during the Montel segments and just kind of smirk at people and give them a little bit snarky guidance. So, a tribute to Sylvia Browne this week, for those of you who are familiar with her work. So we'll do the rest of the week from that deck. I, as usual, have gone ahead and I did draw the cards just because of lack of space to spread out here right now, but I have not peeked at them. So let's talk about our crystal energy for this week. And again, keeping in mind that those three Akashic guide words are going to be balance, connection, physicality, and maybe keeping those in mind when we go through the oracle card guidance for this week as to how those maybe are going to line up in your experience this week. So the crystal card is almandine garnet. Connects to root, sacral, heart, and crown chakras. So an interesting combination of being grounded, but still being creative and being very in touch with our higher guidance and intuition this week. Its three keywords are compassion, self-love, and strength. And the mantra or affirmation you can use this week is, I take time to nurture myself physically, interesting, and spiritually. So there's that word that I got from the Akashic Records this week, physicality. So that is interesting already, and we haven't even started on the week yet. So I take time to nurture myself physically and spiritually. So that's our crystal energy for this week. And then let's start with our Sunday sort of self-love, self-support card from that mediumship training deck. And it is, I don't want to say it's the most important card in this deck because I really love this deck. It's a super good teaching tool if you're looking to cultivate your own intuition and maybe work with an exercise or a practice each day or each week or each month, however you're guided to do it. But this one is what I consider one of the big cards in this deck, and it's called Sitting in the Power. So it's all about kind of connecting with your higher self, but also connecting with that heart space, that place of our personal power. So that also connects us with our physicality, right? But what did this say? This says, I take time to nurture myself physically and spiritually. So by sitting in your power, you are doing both of those things. So this says, when learning to connect with the other side, it's essential that you make time to get to know your own spirit. If you've randomly pulled this card, then spirit is calling you to take time now and sit in your own power. It's time for you to consciously focus on your own inner light and tap into the unlimited spiritual power within you. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine you're slowly and gently breathing in light. Allow that light to fill your physical body, letting it expand your own energy and aura. Continue to breathe in this simple manner, allowing some time to sit and be in the expansion of your own loving light. Keep it simple in the beginning as you develop this technique, allowing time to get comfortable with this practice. Notice whether you feel energy in certain areas of your body or certain chakras. Do you see images in your mind? Do you hear sounds or music? Moments of profound silence are to be expected and are quite normal. By devoting time to this breathing meditation, it will help expand your awareness and allow your psychic and mediumistic abilities to grow and flourish. It will also help revitalize your body, mind, and soul, bringing you to a place of balance and harmony. Once you learn to tap into your own spirit and power, you can access it anytime you wish. So there we have that sort of reiteration or reminder about it will help revitalize your body, mind, and soul. So I'm getting this kind of trine or trinity symbolism in my mind's eye right now for this week. So, we have this balance, connection, physicality. We have two mentions within two cards already about the physical and the connection between the spiritual and the physical. So that obviously going to be a big thing for many people this week. So then let's start with the Heart and Soul deck from Sylvia Browne for our Monday card. And we have, this is funny already, we have the nutrition card. So very tied to our physical bodies and to physicality. The nutrition card says, people are all different. A human body cannot exist on just sugar. So do take these with a grain of salt. These cards, I think, were produced many years ago and, always go with your own intuition as far as what your own body needs or your own team of medical professionals when you're seeking out dietary guidance. But this does say, maybe it's a reminder that some of us have been surviving a little too much on caffeine or sugar or those things that just kind of get us by. Treat your body with respect by feeding it nourishing and nutritious foods. If you're good to your body, it will be good to you. So Monday, we have very much a physical body card as far as nutrition. So, if that has something that has been on your radar lately, being sure that you are paying attention to the signals you're receiving from your body. And then Tuesday, we have the exercise card. No joke. So this says, if you don't move your body, your brain thinks you're dead. Like, I can hear Sylvia Browne saying these things. Movement of the body will not only clear out the sludge, but will also give you more energy. Treat your body like a car. Keep it tuned up and it will run for a very long time. So movement is different for each of us. You know, our physical bodies are very different. The way in which we're able to move our bodies, and the way that that movement feels good to our physical bodies in a way that is also supportive emotionally, and in our overall well-being, is different for everyone. So for me, it's mainly walking. For other people, it could be endurance running, or it could be kiteboarding, or it could be stand-up paddleboarding, or it could be bicycling, it could be yoga, it could be stretching, it could be just sitting in a chair and doing some deep breathing. Whatever that movement looks like for you, making sure that we're getting some movement in, because we have sitting in our power, and then we have, which interestingly enough is a depiction of a physical body, and a light body. And then we have nutrition, and then we have exercise. So I'm going to call that exercise card movement because it looks so different for each body. And then Wednesday, which would be September 1st, so moving into the first of a new month, we have moderation. What is Sylvia trying to tell us this week? It says, the Greeks firmly believe in moderation in all things. There are definitely things you should not do to excess. For example, addictions that harm your physical body, another reference to the physical body, stop your soul's growth and cloud your direct rapport with God. Ask God to help strengthen your will and help with restraint. So, this another message about maybe, have we been giving ourselves a pass on things that we would like to include less of in our diet, or maybe we would like to include more of certain movements or exercises, more of certain foods or beverages, less of others. So this is about moderation. And interestingly, that's one of the words that came in from the Akashic Records channeling this week is balance. So, just finding a balance and a moderation when you're, I don't want this to have that, or appear that it has that energy of a New Year's resolution, which I think are not good, not good for anyone. But, we don't want like exercise, diet, moderation. Like, this is a very easy energy about connecting to our physicality. I think a lot of us have been kind of detached from that for a while. Especially people who are sensitive energetically, it's easier to kind of detach from our bodies than to really sit in them and feel them. But this is saying sit in your power. It's okay to be in your body right now. It's okay. It's safe. You can sit in your power in your physical body. You can find ways that make it feel as good as it can feel for you at this moment in time. And some of that may be through doing things in moderation, doing a little less of some things and a little more of others. So that's that balance energy that came up at the beginning. And these are obviously the physicality and the connection words that came up at the beginning. And then Thursday, we have the self-esteem card. Which I like, because that's what this gets us, is really a feeling of connection to ourselves on all levels. And then it's easier to find self-love when we look at ourselves like a friend, when we look at our physical body like it's our companion, it's carrying us through this life, whether it's, what we perceive to be the perfect one that we would pick out. We did pick it out for ourselves when we were on the other side. There's always a reason we choose our specific physical body. But, once we're here, we're like, why did I do that? Why would I have chosen these things? There's always a reason. There's always a lesson in it. So anything we perceive to be a physical flaw, maybe looking a little deeper and understanding why we might have chosen those things. Was it to, provide us with a specific vehicle to get through life, to learn the lessons we signed up to learn? So self-esteem is about that connection to our physical body and knowing that it's there for us, and we should maybe extend it some kindness too. These are perceived flaws, for any time we feel we have a shortcoming or flaw, there's someone out there that would give anything to be in our shoes. So just connecting with ourselves and our physical bodies on a level of companionship, I think. It says, try to avoid thinking about what you're not. I'm not happy, I'm not rich, I'm not good looking, and so on. Instead, think about what you are. I am joyful, I am prosperous, I am beautiful. Your self-esteem will rise immeasurably. So this is great advice. It's something we talk about a lot here on this channel. When you fill your space with the things you do want, it crowds out the things you don't want and they naturally fall away. So you don't need to focus on what you don't want. Just focus on more of what you do want. So that's our Thursday energy. And then Friday, we have the white light card. So this is kind of all about energy healing and that connection to the light body, the spiritual body, the energy body. It says everyone encounters dark energy at some point or another. Dispel darkness by surrounding yourself with white light and asking for protection. And that's something, if any of you have done private sessions with me, that usually comes up. And a private session's not so much about dark energy, but just about, it's a great way to move through the world if you kind of bubble up with white light. I used to have my son when he was young and very sensitive, before he would go off to school, I would have him sort of zip himself up in an imaginary or energetic snowsuit, just clear up to the top. Hood on, feet covered, everything good. And it really does help you move through the world with a little more ease if you visualize yourself bubbled up in white light. So that's our Friday suggestion, or Friday energy. And isn't this super interesting? If we can just take a second here. So we have all these references to physicality and the physical body and the connection to the spiritual body too, sitting in the power. And then we have nutrition, and we have exercise, and we have moderation, about finding that balance, and then we have self-esteem, and then we have white light. So what do we have? We have this pattern of physical with those first cards, and emotional with that self-esteem card, and then energy with the white light card. So we have sort of the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual in a progression this week. And where does that get us by the end of the week, by Saturday? Is patience. So saying these changes don't occur instantaneously, they can. But for many people, they don't. For many people, it takes some time to integrate changes, and that's fine too. It says patience truly is a virtue and is one attribute that we all have to perfect in one form or another. Instead of getting impatient, try doing a short meditation. Breathe deeply and think pleasant thoughts. So by Saturday, we're back around to this kind of breathing deep energy, ending out the week on patience and saying, wow, I have realized so many things about myself and the way my physical body, my emotional body, and my energy body works this week. I'm just going to take some time and integrate these things. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be persistent. And I like this sort of reference to spend some time in meditation when you're feeling frustrated and like things should be moving more quickly. There's really no shoulds these days. Those kind of went out the window. There is only what is and what we're doing at this moment. But going back to the energetic practice that we did in the Sitting in the Power card with that suggested meditation is something to do to sort of integrate these new feelings we have coming up this week, these new feelings of balance, connection, and physicality, and being reconnected to our physical bodies and moving forward in a way that's constructive and supportive of ourselves, as we are supportive of others. So this is really a time to reconnect with ourselves and be supportive and be our own companion, our own friend. And we can do that by sitting in the power and practicing things like meditation. So I hope you all enjoyed this week's reading, and I hope I will see you next week.